why our brain loves toxic patterns. You ever notice how people can know something is bad for them and still keep doing it? Like checking your ex's profile for the 47th time, or staying up till 3 a.m. watching random videos when you promised yourself you'd sleep early, or going back to that one friend who only remembers you when they need notes, money, or emotional support. We all do it. And the weirdest part, sometimes toxic patterns feel comfortable. Not good, not healthy, just familiar. And our brain loves familiar things, even when they're terrible. Think about it. If your brain had a favorite restaurant, it probably wouldn't pick the healthiest place. It would pick the place where it already knows the menu. The same order, the same taste, no surprises. That's exactly how toxic patterns work. Your brain isn't always trying to make you happy. A lot of the time, it's just trying to make you feel safe. And sadly, safe and healthy are not always the same thing. For example, imagine someone who grew up in a house where people shouted all the time. As an adult, calm relationships might actually feel strange to them. A peaceful person can seem boring. Meanwhile, the dramatic person who disappears for 3 days, replies with K, and randomly starts fights somehow feels exciting. Why? Because their brain says, oh, I know this feeling. I've seen this before. Your brain is basically that one friend who keeps recommending the same bad decisions because last time was fun. The brain loves patterns because patterns save energy. Imagine if every single day you had to relearn how to brush your teeth, walk, tie your shoes, or open your phone. You'd be exhausted before breakfast. So the brain creates shortcuts. That's why habits are powerful. Once something becomes a pattern, your brain starts doing it automatically. That's great when the habit is drinking water, exercising, or studying. But it's terrible when the habit is overthinking, chasing toxic people, or talking badly to yourself. And here's the scary part. The more you repeat a toxic pattern, the more normal it feels. Let's say every time you feel stressed, you scroll endlessly on your phone. At first, it feels like a small distraction. But over time, your brain learns. Stress equals phone. Then one day, you open your phone without even realizing why. You're not bored. You're not interested. You're just stressed. Your brain already pressed the invisible shortcut button. This is why people can get stuck in cycles for years. Not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, but because the brain gets really good at repeating whatever it practices, even if that thing is unhealthy. Another reason the brain loves toxic patterns is because of dopamine. Dopamine is usually called the feel-good chemical. But honestly, dopamine is more like the maybe this time chemical. It's what keeps people refreshing their phones to see if someone texted back. It's what makes people keep checking notifications every 5 minutes. It's what makes gambling addictive, because sometimes you get rewarded and sometimes you don't. And weirdly, random rewards are more addictive than guaranteed ones. Imagine 2 vending machines. The first one gives you chocolate every single time. The second one only gives you chocolate once in a while. Which one are you more obsessed with? The second one, because your brain keeps thinking maybe the next try will be the lucky one. That's exactly why toxic relationships are so hard to leave. If someone is mean all the time, eventually you stop expecting anything good. But if someone is mean most of the time and suddenly sweet once in a while, your brain becomes addicted to waiting for those rare good moments. It's like getting one French fry after waiting an hour, and somehow your brain goes, wow, maybe next time we'll get 2 fries. No, leave the restaurant. Toxic patterns also survive because they give us fake comfort. Complaining can become a pattern. Overthinking can become a pattern. Even being sad can become a pattern. Not because people enjoy suffering, but because they get used to it. It's like wearing uncomfortable shoes for so long that when someone gives you better shoes, they feel weird. Healthy things often feel uncomfortable in the beginning. Going to bed early feels weird if you're used to sleeping at 2 a.m. Saying no feels rude if you're used to pleasing everyone. Taking a break feels lazy if you grew up believing you always have to be productive. Your brain will fight change at first. Not because the new thing is bad, but because it's unfamiliar. The brain sees unfamiliar things the same way cats see cucumbers. Suddenly dramatic, suddenly suspicious. That's why starting healthy habits can feel so hard. You tell yourself, I'm going to work out every day. Then after 2 days, your brain says, actually lying in bed sounds better. Because the brain loves easy and familiar. But here's the good news. Your brain can learn new patterns too. It's not stuck forever. The same brain that learned toxic habits can also learn healthy ones. You just have to repeat them long enough. At first, it feels awkward. Kind of like when you first start wearing glasses and suddenly realize trees have individual leaves. Healthy habits can feel strange in the beginning because you're building a new normal. If you're used to chaos, peace feels boring. If you're used to overthinking, calm feels suspicious. If you're used to toxic people, kind people can seem too nice. But that doesn't mean healthy is wrong. It just means your brain is adjusting. One of the best ways to break toxic patterns is to notice them before they happen. Because you can't change a pattern you don't see. Start asking yourself simple questions. Why do I always end up with the same type of people? Why do I always avoid things until the last minute? Why do I always talk to myself like I'm my own worst enemy? Sometimes the pattern becomes so normal that you don't even realize it's there. It's like having a song song stuck in your head for so long that you forget it's playing. Once you notice the pattern, you can interrupt it. For example, if stress makes you grab your phone, maybe take a walk first. If loneliness makes you text the wrong person, text a friend instead. If you start insulting yourself after making a mistake, talk to yourself the way you talk to someone you care about. Because honestly, most people are nicer to strangers than they are to themselves. If your friend spilled coffee on their shirt, you'd probably say, "It's okay, it happens." But if you spill coffee on your own shirt, suddenly it's, "I'm the most useless human being alive." Relax. It's coffee, not the end of civilization. Breaking toxic patterns is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming aware. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You just need to stop giving your brain the exact same script every day. Because if you keep repeating the same choices, the same reactions, and the same habits, you'll keep getting the same results. And the truth is, your brain will always try to pull you toward what feels familiar. Your job is to decide if familiar is actually good for you. Because not everything that feels normal deserves to stay in your life. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose a new pattern. Even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels boring, even if your brain complains the whole time. Because eventually the new pattern becomes familiar too. And one day, the healthy choices that once felt awkward will start feeling natural. You'll stop chasing people who only give you crumbs. You'll stop needing chaos to feel alive. You'll stop being addicted to things that only hurt you. And when that happens, your brain will finally learn something important. Peace is not boring. Healthy is not weird. And toxic was never love in the first place. So next time your brain tries to drag you back into the same old mess, remember this: just because something feels familiar doesn't mean it deserves a place in your future.